Good morning, Hawks. I'm Bryn.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Addison, and you're watching the Hawk News.
Today's date is Thursday, February 11th.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Today's lunch is chicken and waffle, hot dog on a bun, and chicken garden salad. For sides today, we have sweet potato tots, baked beans, mixed fruit cups, and fresh fruit.
Now for today's water review.
Today's water review is tap water. Tap water can be found in everyone's homes and varies with its pH level based on where you are. According to GRU, Gainesville's tap water has a pH level of 8.6, which is alkaline but considered the golden standard for tap water. Thank you for listening to today's water review.
In honor of Black History Month, we have a segment about the genius inventor Lewis Howard Latimer.
Lewis Howard Latimer was born on September 4, 1848, and was the youngest son of former slaves George Latimer and Rebecca Latimer, who fled from Virginia to a town near Boston called Chelsea, Massachusetts. At age 15, he joined the military. After serving 2 years, he took up an office job at a patent law firm, earning only $3 a week. Because of his talent of sketching patent drawings, he quickly rose in the ranks, becoming head draftsman, earning $20 a week. Later in his life, he would be employed by people like Alexander Graham Bell, who needed him to draft a patent for the telephone. On November 15, 1873, Latimer married Mary Wilson Lewis. In 1879, he was hired as an assistant manager and draftsman for the U.S. Electric Lighting Company, where he revolutionized the carbonation process. In 1884, he was invited to work with Thomas Edison. While there, he invented the apparatus for cooling and disinfecting, which was a forerunner of the modern American air conditioner. He was also a big part in the invention of the incandescent light bulb. During this time, Latimer invented smaller, more practical inventions, such as a toilet for railroad cars, a safety elevator, and a locking hat rack. Lewis Howard Latimer made many great contributions to society through his inventions and his talent for patent sketching.
And now to Mr. Gambo for the rest of the announcements.
Good morning, Hawks. It is Thursday, thrilling Thursday, February the 11th, and we're moving on here. Basketball season's moving on. However, unfortunately, Hawthorne can't field a middle school team anymore, so next week was to be a home game for us at our Unicorn home gym, but we won't be playing. So no school on Monday and no basketball on Wednesday. Maybe our teams can use that extra time to tune up and practice a little bit. Be back in action at the Unicorn Museum the following Monday. What's that, the 22nd, George Washington's birthday, against High Springs Community School. And then again on Wednesday versus Mabane Mustangs. So stay tuned for the more sports news. Let's see. Another not a lot of other big things going on. Again, students doing a pretty good job of staying cleaned up at the park. Look around. Sometimes there's something there on the ground needs picking up, throwing away. If you're not far from a trash can, just do it. I found another full bag of chips today. So somebody probably saw that and thought it was an empty bag and didn't want to touch it. Hey, guess what? Full bag of Cheetos. Ha. Again, there's money to be found sometimes too. All right, then. Today's segment of recognizing some sort of local folks in regards to Black history. Who's looming large behind me? I need to get better with cropping these pictures, editing them out. But on the other hand, I kind of like the big, large picture looming behind me aspect. This is Leonard George, who was the first African-American player signed to the Florida Gators football team. Now, he wasn't the first for very long By that, I mean that the number 2 guy was signed like a week later, but more on that number 2 guy tomorrow. Okay, so you have to stay tuned. So here's the thing. If you're going to be the first in anything, you'd better be very good. And of course, you got to be good. So the coach at the time, Ray Graves, signed Leonard George. He was a star running back at Tampa Jesuit High School. And where else? Tampa. And he'd led his team to a state title. And in one game, even though he got kicked out, he said the other team sent in a goon to pummel him after the plays were over. And he went to push the guy off to defend himself. The ref threw them both out of the game. So he learned a valuable lesson there. He's like, I got to keep my cool and be cool, or I'll get tossed out of the game. He said that the Florida Gator football players were all very accepting, and the coaches and all that, so they didn't have an issue going to play at other teams' stadiums, especially like, say, Mississippi, Alabama, was a different story. He also was the first African-American player to ever score a touchdown against Alabama. So that's pretty cool, too. After his playing career at the University of Florida, Mr. George went on to work as a TV reporter, worked in politics around Tallahassee, and came back to UF in the mid-'70s and earned a law degree. Again, they don't just hand out law degrees. So he had a successful practice in Atlanta, and then they said he went off to Hawaii and kind of dropped off the map. People weren't sure if he was still alive. Was in Hawaii for 20 years before coming back to Florida and reconnecting with some of his old teammates. So salute to Leonard George, one of the pioneers for African Americans here at the University of Florida, and for lots of folks, and with great lessons for all of us to emulate. Right. Remember, be kind always. It's the right thing to do. Work hard in each of your classes, all 50 minutes, all 6 periods. Finally, give someone a compliment during the day. When you receive a compliment, look that person in the eye and say, thank you. And hey, again, Hawks, got a very special announcement to add to this morning's news, and that is to announce the winners of the Exploravision for this year. And our Exploravision winners, got to put on my glasses here to make sure I don't mangle a name, were Joseph Pagliarini, Sarah Porter, and Ella Sheffield for their project on the Sero Watch and Sero Patch. What is that, you might say? Well, they had the idea of putting a patch that measures serotonin levels and brain waves. And, if you're feeling down, maybe something give you a little boost to get you back where you need to be, or, if you're too high, hey, get you again on the straight level there. Pretty cool concept. And they had a great plan there, the Exploravision that Ms. Camerata students did. The inaugural year was last year when we got to meet in person, so it had to be scaled down quite a bit this year, but they still did some very cool work. And I know I learned a lot last year, and my group, from the work they did, learned about messenger RNA, which is a key component of the coronavirus vaccines that are being administered to people now. So congratulations to Joseph, Sarah, and Ella for their very cool project. And of course, Ms. Camerata and all the other teachers and volunteers she had to pull off the Exploravision this year. Well done. Go Hawks.
Have a great day. Go Hawks!